What's going on, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm back. I'm in the building, and I'm just super, super excited. We are live right now on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Instagram Live. How exciting is this? It's been about 5 months, y'all, since I have taken the virtual stage, so to speak. I'm excited about what we're going to be talking about here tonight. This is going to be like a mini kickback, welcome back to the live stream situation that we have going on. And I'm just super excited to be here with you all. So share this out with about 5, 6, 7, or 10 of your closest peers, friends, and colleagues that you work with. I'm excited. So hello, hello, hello. It's been way too long. And you may be wondering, Ash, where have you been? Because even my cousin said, I think something's going on with your content. Like I feel like I've been seeing you. Where have you been? What have you been doing? And I'm just going to be very, very honest. And this is how we're going to, get into my slide deck too in a minute. I'm going to be walking through some talking points and things I have to just share with you all. But March of this year, I returned back to the office full-time, 5 days a week. So it was 5 years as a remote worker in the federal government. And so we just had to go. We had to bring the laptop and charge it up, not only, from home. We had to start bringing that in and, get an assigned desk and reorient ourselves to seeing people every day. I'm a people person anyway, so I love it. It was heaven to see people. I would just be walking through different floors, saying hey to people that I knew that I used to work with. But yeah, it has been a journey in itself. So even in that time, right, I had some challenges from going from my remote work schedule to going to a 5 days a week, no remote work, right? And so figuring out everything from exercise to going to the gym to shopping, meal prepping, where do I have to be for small group, doing errands, enjoying life. Pickleball suffered, okay? Getting onto these courts, all right? Those that know me, okay? I've been on this pickleball journey for about a year and some change. So all of those things, right? You know, were taking place. I also, started working with on a team, at a brand new team, a health and wellness organization. Awesome. Hey, what's going on? Miss you too. Miss you a lot. And so, yeah, I things have gotten super, super busy. So you saw me in May. We were talking about AI. We'll save that for later. It's not like we're not going to talk about AI anymore. But that is essentially what has been going on with me, just working and growing and learning. The Lord's been teaching me. I have been serving in church. I've been volunteering, doing all sorts of really good things, reading, growing, developing, personally, resting. So right now I am furloughed, but we are making the most of this opportunity. So with that said, let me go in and share my screen. We're going to share my screen. Share. Let me tell you something. Going back into StreamYard, there's some really cool little, some gadgets and some things they got going on. They have like QR codes and everything. Like it's just pretty amazing. I think I'm going to play this, right? Okay, I think this is it. I think y'all can see me right here. Okay. I think this works because, it's not. Okay, let me get this little banner off, y'all. I don't want too many things. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay, cool. Transition to Systems Lab Live. Okay, cool. So many of y'all have been following me for years. So y'all know like Systems Lab Live, like that's my thing. We talk about the systems, the processes, and everything, right? So I took June, July. What is it? June? No, not June. July, August, September. Boom. I started thinking about where am I in life, in business, and career, and just everything. I started like, okay, Systems Lab Live was cool, right? We talked about everything. We talked about all things project management. We talked about like everything, right? We talked about everything. But one thing that occurred to me was I've been learning a lot about leadership. So in my current role, I inherited, 2 federal programs, and I've been, leading a remote team. So like, there's like so much that I realized that I have done. Like I've been doing a lot of different things, and I realized like, man, I don't think I've been bringing everything into the fold. Like, I don't think I've been bringing everything to y'all in my content and in in this work. So we're transitioning from Systems Lab Live to Work Well with Impact Live, because one of the things that I'm super passionate about is how do we, as operators, project managers, maybe you're a creative PM, maybe you run a program, maybe you are, you're doing all these different things, maybe you're building something really cool. Like, how do we actually lead well, think well, and work smarter? And those are the 3 tenets. We're going to go into that in just a few minutes of what all that's going to entail moving forward. But I've also been blessed to really work in mission-driven spaces. So whether that's from the federal government to nonprofit, consulting, working with really amazing people, doing really life-changing work, I'm like, man, like, this is really something. Like, so, I started to really think through, what does it really mean to work well with impact? We can always do great work. We always can do fantastic work. We always can, you do really good work well. We can always do all those certain these things. But I'm like, man, what does it really mean to do really great work with impact, right? And so the impact could be within your community, with your clients. This could be for generations to come. So we have a lot to talk about and to discuss. So the newsletter that I have is called the Daily Practice. And the Daily Practice is really this mindset of every single day you are refining your skill set, right? You're refining, how you're working on tasks, working on deliverables, like, all these things. So that was the premise of the Daily Practice. Like, you have to do it every day in order to become the expert, right? So we're tweaking that, and we're just really going to merge the live stream and the newsletter. The newsletter will be Work Well with Impact. So you guys got to make sure that you click on the button. It still says the Daily Practice now. So bear with me as I transition assets and find somebody to design it to be, in alignment with what I'm doing. But yeah, join the email community, because guess what? I'm emailing twice. I was doing it once. And I will say this, not only did the live stream stop, but also the newsletter stopped. So people didn't hear from me for months. So I met with Sierra. She is one of the greatest in marketing, email marketing. Like, she's just like a visionary. Like, she knows all the things. And so I went to a retreat that she had, a workshop last November, and I loved it. She gave me some really good advice, and I didn't use it. Okay. Honestly, I didn't use it. I didn't act upon it, but I met with her again in July, because I was like, nah, you got to get committed and you got to get serious. So what is the thing that you're going to get serious about, Ash? Like, what are you going to make space for? Like, how are you going to, what platform are you going to own? So I'm already on LinkedIn, y'all. So you just, y'all tap in with me with LinkedIn. I'm on Threads. And then lastly, Instagram. We don't really know what we're doing with Instagram, but we're going to do something with the IG fam. But LinkedIn, bread and butter. So I was like, email. Like, I want to hone in and really be able to articulate my thoughts and what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing every single week. I needed also a way to talk through the discoveries that I'm making with AI. So we have AI Wednesdays. So, you'll hear from me on Wednesdays as well. And I'm just going through very transparently, like what I'm learning through these platforms. Now, I'm not testing like all AI platforms. So they're really going to be focused on the work we're doing every single day. So y'all know I'm ClickUp girl. We are pausing on ClickUp. I know people are like, brace yourself, brace yourself. We are taking a strategic pause on ClickUp and AI, and we're moving to Asana. So we're going to do 90 days with Asana. This is going to be really, really exciting. And that's going to be awesome. So we're going to be exploring Asana, setting up projects, Asana AI, Miro. Miro's my, that's I love me some Miro. And they just came out with a whole bunch of AI features as well. And it's going to be good. And so I'll also be transitioning to doing like YouTube videos as well. So being able to put some videos on YouTube as well. So that's what we're doing right now. So anyway, back to Sierra, back to the email writing. So if you sign up right now, you'll get a mini, what do you call, I don't know if it's called a training. It's like a demo. So it's my Fellow app. It's like a note-taking app. Okay. So you go and you'll sign up, and there's like 3 emails that y'all will get. You'll get the mini training, and it'll just kind of talk about how I'm using an AI tool called Fellow for all of my meetings. I have lots of different one-on-ones and different things. So it is really, really good. Like, it's an awesome, awesome note-taking device. And you can do all sorts of really fun stuff with it. So that's what we're doing there. And so, like I said, it's me and you twice a week, and it's going to be great. And so I've been doing that since September. So we're just, again, we're locked in and being diligently focused on the email and the writing. Okay. I'm doing it. I'm committed to it. No more breaks. Unless I tell you I'm going to take a break, I'm going to announce it and tell you I'm off for the month. But like, we're writing, and we are intentionally writing. I just put in one-on-one, so y'all can book a one-on-one with me. Tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your friends. Anything that has to do with, setting up project workflows, workflow audits, things of that nature. One-on-ones are open. Whoop, whoop, whoop. One-on-ones are open. So that's inside there as well. I also updated my, I think my link tree, maybe a couple other places I need to update it. But this is what we're doing. Let's see. Last week, I taught project management with entrepreneurs through the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce. That was fire. We had a great time to really talk about why entrepreneurs need project management, digital operations. Super fun. This is my 4th time teaching the class. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, that's what I've been up to. That's what we're doing here. We're transitioning System Lab Live to work well with Impact Live. Things will be updated, graphics and all the such, all the like. And it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. We're going to start off bi-weekly and then ramp up, goal January 2026 to be weekly. But we are ramping up, and we're doing bi-weekly live streams, and we are being thoughtful and intentional about what we're doing with these live streams. So we like it. We love it. And it is important. Okay. Did I? Okay, great. I just clicked on my Insta. Okay. I think I'm live. Okay, cool. All right. 3 core tenets. What are we doing? We are leading well. Why is this important when we talk about leading well? Well, I do want to talk why that is super important when we talk about leading projects and teams. I think one of the things that I know in my previous Systems Lab Live and what I used to talk about all the time, I used to just talk about a lot of technical stuff, right? Tools and whatnot, and that's good. But I started to attempt to lean into the leadership development piece of it, because half the battle is not necessarily getting the task completed. It's actually the people, because we all know people be peopling, and we know that building And building teams and working with people can be challenging. It also is extremely rewarding. I think that there are topics that we're not talking about. We're not talking about underperformance. We're not talking about boundaries as leaders. We're not talking about how we bring out the best in our team members that we're working with. We're not talking about what we're not doing right. And we're also not discussing how we can prevent burnout. And so I want to really dive into these issues. I want to dive into some of the stories. I want to get questions from you all too about the leadership development piece. What is it that you guys want to see? I'm going to be sharing things that I've learned, things that I witnessed, things that have worked well, things that have worked not so well, things that I'm currently working through. And I just want to really have a very well-versed and honest conversation about what we were doing when we're talking about mission-driven work and purpose-driven work, and why we also need to be leading with integrity. How do we steward our projects well? That is something that I am extremely, extremely passionate about. What do we talk about when we talk about stewardship? I'm talking about money. How are we spending the money for projects? How are we thinking about that strategically? Honesty and integrity when it comes to the work that we're doing. Let's talk about AI and ethics. We're going to go there, and I'm excited about it because I think that we need to be thinking about the ways in which we are ethically using AI when it comes to our work. I'm not talking about, the Instagram captions or your emails. If you wanted to write an email or what have you, we all get it. But when we're talking about producing work that impacts, right? I believe that we need to make sure that we're talking about AI in a way that is going to be in the ethics piece, in a way that's going to be fruitful for the work and protects the company and the work that you're doing. Okay, good question. How has the company decided about spending before a PM even gets there? Woo, such a good question. I think that's a really good question. Yeah, I think that's a very good question. Yeah, and let's take that. We will take that as a question. Let me start that, and we will mark that so that we can talk about that. I like that. So yeah, so that's what we're talking about, leading well with projects and teams. We're going to talk about the next live stream. We'll be talking about what happens when everything fails, right? That's what we're going to be talking about. And what are the use cases of AI before a PM gets involved? We like that. And we're going to mark that, ponder that. We are going to do such things. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay. So that's what we're doing, leading projects and teams. I think we kind of covered all of that. I love it. So that's what we're doing. Okay. Think well. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence. Okay. Because it's not all about the tasks and the deliverables. I just talked about a little bit with lead well, but we need to make sure that we're looking at the people as people. People are people, So we want to make sure that we are emotionally intelligent. And what does that mean? That we want to make sure that we have empathy when it matters, right? And I think that it's important to be able to lean into how do you work and function in terms of your day-to-day work and how you're interacting with people. Are we listening, but are we talking more than we're listening? Are we trying to make a point before we're even just, trying to be right about something? We want to talk about that. We want to talk about those things. And I think that this comment right here is really good. I'm super protective of PMs when AI becomes a thing they have to manage when leadership isn't and hasn't been clear. Like I said, we're going to be getting into it. So again, we're going to be talking through this aspect of emotional intelligence. Okay. Motivation, your social skills, your self-awareness, effective communication. Okay, how are we communicating? So I'm super big on that. One of the things that I often talk to my teams about is when we are talking about the work in which we do, we always go by the 3 C's: context, clarity. Now, wait a minute. We went to the third C. Oh, I love that. So we're talking about it from the 3 C's perspective. So we're talking about that with the 3 C's. So we're looking for context, and we're looking for clarity and centralizing information, the 3 C's. So why emotional intelligence matters, and this is, we're going to dive into that, and ways in the tools we can use to dive into that. I'm a big fan of the DISC assessment and strength finders. So we're going to be looking at probably like my DISC, and we're probably going to look at strength finders as well. And we're going to be working through some things that I put in place, some particular frameworks and things that I want to kind of share with you all. But also, again, like, you all ask me questions, and we can kind of dialogue about, what you all are seeing, and how you're sharpening your emotional intelligence. So we're going to get into that. Let's see, work smarter. We're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk about systems. We're going to talk about processes. We're going to be talking about, we're bringing all of these things together. And we're going to talk about the ways in which we need to utilize tools to help us work smarter, work more efficiently, get us to the destination that we need to get to. And, and really, I think this is good because I think we also need to become smarter in how we use AI, not just for the prompt inputs and spitting in and spitting out. I think that's level 1. And I think in this journey, we're going to rise to level 2 and level 3. And we're going to be talking through how we use AI as a strategic partner, instead of just, can you just help me wordsmith this sentence, which is not a problem, because listen, I do it myself, just to kind of do that and to ideate. But we're going to be talking about, especially in the tools that I'll be utilizing and showing, we're going to be talking about what it is that some of these tools, like Asana AI, Scribe, Miro, we'll probably get into Notion in 2026. I'm interested. Notion has something called Notion Agents. I'm super interested in, and all of that. But we'll be talking about what it means to work smarter with these tools. And I think that there are just, again, tools and systems and processes to do that. Why documentation matters always, that's always going to be a staple for me, is documentation matters all the time. And so that's essentially like what we are looking at with those 3 tenets. If you have any questions, let me know. Slide in my DMs, send me an email. I'd love to, talk to you guys about this. So what to expect with this live stream. So we're going to have mostly, on most of the live streams, probably 2 out of the 3 of the 3 core tenets that we're going to be talking about. Some of it may not be sequential. It may not be like, here's our think well segment, our lead well segment, our work smart segment. So we may mix it up a bit, but those are going to be the 3 core tenets that we're going to be really looking into and really, diving into. And I think that is just really going to help us all keep us on track. I do want to bring on guests. I haven't had a guest in a really, really long time, but I'm excited. I'm going to bring some really good folks in that are leading and building and managing the things together. And so I really want to bring some folks on to really kind of talk about what they're working on, pitfalls, things that they are, learning about, how they're growing. And so I'm excited about doing that. So I'll probably actually start DMing some folks and asking like, hey, do you want to come on next month? You want to come on early next year, so that we can just really have a really good, fruitful conversation about, what we're doing in our day-to-day. So really, this particular live stream and even the email is really just revealing and just being super transparent as much as possible about, what goes into the day-to-day work. I don't think we have enough content or even enough behind the scenes, so to speak, that we can really be thinking thoughtfully about it, but also giving practical tools and advice that's out there. So this is really exciting for me, and just to open up for you guys and just for you to, join me in this journey. I'm just excited. I'm just super, super excited. So you'll see me during the first week of November, and it's going to be good. I'm excited to be talking about these things. So also too, let me just run through like what we talked about just even in our newsletter, because I just feel like I got to shout out the newsletter, because I think Sierra would be so pleased as punch to of the work that we've done. So what did we talk about? Hold on, I'm gonna try to bring something up, some of my notes. Okay, so yesterday we talked about when you're at capacity. So we're gonna be talking about that as well. What happens when you are at capacity, right? Meaning like you really can't do anybody's work, right? So we're gonna be talking about why we should have boundaries and how to communicate those boundaries to executives, to team members, to directors, managers, whomever, and talking about why we need to put up boundaries in our work. This is not to say that once you say no, that you're going to be exempt from doing whatever the stack of work that you have. But we're going to talk about what it means to be at capacity, and then what are the strategies and the things that you can do to help to mitigate your stress. So we're going to be talking about that. That's an exciting topic. I'm excited to dive into that. And so how do we begin to communicate these needs? Let's see. Last week we talked about how we are literally overwhelmed with the amount of tools, and how we can use a framework to pull back and really decipher what technology tools that we need in our business and the things that we're doing, right? And so that's going to be really, really good. We're going to talk about that as well. There's like a lot of really, really awesome topics that we've talked about from the past, 5-6 weeks. We're going to talk about when things fall apart. Like what happens when literally a project falls apart? Like, what do you do? What do you do when a project falls apart? And so we're going to talk about lessons that I've learned along the way and things like that. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how we are. Oh yeah. We also, like I said, we're going to be diving into Asana. I probably won't do any ClickUp right now. I already told you all that. So we won't be doing any of that, but that's okay. But we've talked about that. I've done some demos and things like that on risk management, ClickUp docs, and all these things. How exactly do you develop a framework around tools when coming in and those that are available? Yeah, we will talk about that, because I did email to my newsletter community about that, but we can actually talk about that right now. So, and this is a really good question. So when I was teaching the class, the project management for entrepreneurs class for the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce, someone asked me, Ashley, how do you decide what tools you use in your business? And I said, this is how I do it. I'm not saying this is like the ultimate way to do it, or this is like the thing that you need to do. But I think this helps you keep your sanity around moving around different types of tools. So I use a filter. So two questions I always ask, which is, what is the end goal? Let's drill that down a little further. What am I really trying to accomplish or improve? What is the repetitive pain point? If it keeps showing up week after week after week, something's got to give. Something's got to give. Okay. So those are the two particular lenses that I run through when I'm talking about tools that I need. So for instance, and I give this example in the newsletter, which I say, I have a whole lot of one-on-ones. I have a whole lot of meetings. I like to be able to talk freely. If we need to switch topics, I don't want to have to use pen and paper or try to type in a separate app notes or say, excuse me, hold on. I want to have a free flowing conversation, jokes and all, right? I want to have a free flowing conversation. So I started utilizing the Fellow app. Before that, it was, I can't think of the other app, but Blessing, shout out to Blessing. She used this app and I really liked it, but it was something that I needed to do with Slack, and it was something. I forgot. It's something couldn't connect. Someone said sacrilege, pen and paper are prime. I love it. I'm a digital gal, but like pen and paper, I'm not with it right now. So that's so good. So anyway, what was I saying? Okay. Granola is an app. Let's see. Zoom now has AI note-taking features, which I liked. So I was utilizing Zoom AI, but again, I needed that information to be emailed out to all of the meeting parties. So it wasn't working for me. But maybe if you're out there and if Zoom does this, maybe I just don't know. That could be it too. So anyway, Marquis Murray. I think it's in Murray. But anyway, he is one of the Asana systems gurus, right? And so he was using Fellow. And so I had heard other people talk about Fellow too. And I was like, well, I'm going to start using Fellow. So I started to use Fellow, and you sync it up to your calendar. It'll join every single meeting, and it takes, the notes that come out from that is bar none. And so that's why I did the free demo when you sign up for my newsletter. Like you'll see it. You'll see it. I do want to do a deeper dive and more of like a private space, because I want to be able, some stuff I couldn't show you, it's a little sensitive, but on a one-on-one, I would love to kind of do a deeper dive. Someone said, aren't you training Zoom for free though? No, not me. I do have the paid Zoom. And I do think that if you don't want to pay for anything else, Zoom does a pretty decent job. So one thing that I love about Fellow is, comes to my second question, which is, what is this repetitive pain point? Action items. Like I needed a way to track the action items, because I was forgetting, like, what am I going to do next? Like, what am I going to do? So what it does is that it connects to one of your PM tools. So ClickUp is one of the choices. So what it will do is, if there's an action item, it'll send it straight to the actual ClickUp list, which I love. I think that's so inventive. I think it's so fun. Like, I think it's just brilliant. So that's the question, in terms of like the framework that I use. We start with two filters, which are the two questions. What's my end goal? What am I really trying to accomplish or improve? And then the second is, what's the repetitive pain point? So if it keeps showing up week after week, this is a prime candidate for automation or optimization. So that's what my question is. That's my answer to your question. Okay, so the comment is, as an old school person who believes the hand to brain connection is the most important when synthesizing info as a PM. Granted, I love automation, but that makes sense. Okay, because I do think that, and it's proven science, and you'll appreciate this. It's proven science that writing things down with your brain helps you to remember it. I'm not going to negate that. Like, I think that is, it's there, like it's proven. So I don't want to negate the paper and pen squad, because I think that that's super important. But just in terms of I'm doing a lot of talking, I'm doing a lot of the things, right? And so that's kind of how I'm thinking about that through that lens. So this has been great. This has been spectacular. Thank you for that question. I'll be back. I'll be posting, and I look forward to just being on this brand new journey with you all. This is going to be fun. This is going to be really, really fun. So also note too, again, questions that you guys have about tools, systems, AI, all these things, I will cover it either in the emails. I'll also make some content around that, but we can definitely have this on the live stream as well, because I think we have some really good, we're gonna have a really good time talking about how are we able to utilize AI in the work that we do. So this is gonna be cool. I'm excited about it. And thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you share this live stream out with about 5, 6, or 7 to 8 of your colleagues. And I will make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. Be sure to do that. And I look forward to chatting with you soon. Bye.